Hello, it's Joe and welcome to my 500 subscriber Q&A. First off, just want to start by saying thanks for 500 subscribers. At the time I'm filming this, I actually have 650 subscribers, which is crazy to me, and I'm just really grateful. So thanks for subscribing and watching and enjoying. And so, as is normal for a Q&A, I took to my Twitter, which is linked below, and asked for some questions, and thankfully some people obliged and asked me questions, so we're just gonna get right into them. Let's go. So first questions come from Jordan Harvey, and they are fuck, marry, kill questions, and they are based on Avatar: The Last Airbender characters. So the first one is fuck, marry, kill out of Suki, Toph and Yue, and I feel like there's only one acceptable answer for this, and that is fuck Suki, marry Toph and kill Yue. Anyone who doesn't do that, I personally am seriously judging you, because how can you kill Suki or Toph? It makes no sense. And out of Toph and Suki, how can you not want to marry Toph? Because Toph is just amazing. But anyway, and the next one is Zuko, Jet and Sokka. And for this one, I would say it's a bit more, not controversial, but I feel like the answers for this one would be more varied. I personally am going to fuck Zuko, kill Jet and marry Sokka. Killing Jet is the easy one. I think everyone would do that. And then out of the other two, I personally don't think I would get along with Zuko, because we're both quite quiet, introverted people, and he gets angry easily, and I'm not about that. And I just feel like I do better around people who are very talkative, and Sokka is definitely that, so I would marry Sokka and fuck Zuko for that reason. Next set of questions come from Sarah from Novel Serendipity, and first one is, where do you get your motivation? And my answer to that is, what motivation? No, but seriously, I get a lot of motivation. Well, I don't get a lot of motivation at all, but the motivation that I do get comes from watching other people work really hard and be motivated. That makes me feel motivated, and then once I get the ball rolling and start working hard on things and being motivated to do things, the more I want to do that. Whereas if I get into a place where I just can't be arsed and I don't want to do anything, then that will spiral and I just won't do anything for an entire month. I don't know if that answers the question, but there you go. Sarah's next question is soda or water? Water. And the next one is tea or coffee? Tea, but I actually only drink water, so I don't drink tea or coffee or soda or anything else. When I go out on a night out, I do have cocktails and stuff, so I guess that counts. And sometimes when it's really cold outside, I will have a hot chocolate. But for the most part, I only drink water. And then the last question from Sarah is, best and worst book you've read since starting BookTube and why? So the best book that I've read since starting BookTube is definitely The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I personally think this is the best since I've started, because characters amazing, plot amazing, writing amazing, atmosphere amazing, just everything about this book is amazing, and I think it is the perfect book in my opinion. Well, maybe not the perfect book, but I think it's really, really, really objectively good. And so yeah, that's definitely the best one. As for worst one, that will definitely be The Death Cure by James Dashner, which is the third book in the Maze Runner trilogy. This was just straight up shit. Really, really bad. And I'm glad that the film is a lot better, because I actually really enjoyed the film. This was just a mess of a book. The plot was all over the place, the characters made no sense, and I ended up hating them all by the end. There was no atmosphere. The writing was fine, but not really fine, because it felt like it was just so rushed and disjointed, and no, I just hate this book and definitely don't recommend that you read it. The next set of questions come from Hannah from Snow White Reader, and the first one is, if you could switch places with a protagonist, who would it be? And I'm going to go with Charlie Ashanti from the Lion Boy trilogy, simply because he can talk to cats, and I would love to be able to talk to cats. Like, that is the only reason. Yeah. Hannah's next question is, favourite jam from Six the Musical? So, initially when I listened to the album, I guess it's an album, soundtrack, whatever. Initially when I listened to it, my favourites were No Way and Get Down. And they kind of still are, but at the minute I'm really, really loving All You Wanna Do by Catherine Howard, because I just love her voice, and that song is like really dark, like lyrically, but the song is also like such an upbeat bop as well, and I just love the singer's delivery of it. And yeah, that's my favourite at the minute, but my solid favourites, like since I listened to it, are No Way and Get Down. And Hannah's third and final question is, best BTS moment. So, if you don't know, I love BTS. I've been into them since like 2015, and I feel like I've been through a lot with them. So this was a hard question, and I had to really think about it. But I would say the best moment was when BTS first won a Daesang at a Korean award show. So if you don't know, Daesangs are like huge awards in the Korean music industry, and BTS had wanted one for years, and they finally got one in, I think it was 2017, and the first time they won one, it just made me so happy because they were so happy, they cried, they hugged each other, and it was just a beautiful moment and a beautiful time. Next question comes from Chloe from Books with Chloe, and her question is, top 3 favourite BookTube memories. So BookCon 2019, definitely like the whole experience. The other 2 I'm going to mention aren't necessarily in order of 2 and 3, but one is the first time I discovered Cindy from Read with Cindy's channel, because I feel like she's the first booktuber that made me laugh out loud, and I remember binge watching all of her videos when I discovered her and just laughing for like hours and hours, and it was just a great time. And then third, I have a few, but I'm going to go with the first time I met Tom from TJ Reads the Stars, who is a dear friend of mine, and we met at a book signing for Adam Silvera and Becky Albertelli in Manchester, and that was the first time we had met in person. And now me and Tom are great friends, and we went to New York together, and so yeah, that would be one of my favourite BookTube memories. Next question is again from Jordan Harvey, and she asks, how much do you love me on a scale from 1 to 10? Well, you know what? My initial reaction would be like a 2 or a 3, but seeing as though I'm wearing a Hufflepuff t-shirt, I am going to be nice and somewhat honest and say a solid 7 or 8. Next questions come from Elias Reads, and the first question is favourite jumper. And I've got to be honest, I'm not much of a jumper person. Even in winter, I prefer to wear like t-shirts and hoodies and like layers rather than a jumper. But I do have a few jumpers, and the one that I like the most at the minute is this one, which is, I don't know, I just like the colours, and it is really warm. I wouldn't wear it just on its own because it is quite itchy, but when I do wear it, I put a t-shirt under it, and yeah, I don't know, I like it. That jumper's actually like a few years old by now, which shows that I don't like buy new jumpers a lot, but there you go. Elias's second question is worst travel story, and I feel like I have been really lucky in my travelling experience because I haven't gone through anything like really bad travelling wise. The thing that comes to mind though is when I was, in fact I can't even guess the age, but when I was younger, like I'm talking a child, I went on a coach to Paris with my mum and dad, and it took like 12 hours and was like, oh wait, and it wasn't to Paris, where was it to? It was a coach to like Spain, I think. It was a coach to somewhere in Spain, and it took like 12 hours, and it was really uncomfortable, and obviously we had to drive through the night and try and sleep, and the sleeping like part of it was just not happening. And at one point we thought my dad had a heart attack. He didn't, but like there was a scare, and it was just a whole thing, and that was not a great time. Luckily I don't remember too much of it because it was that long ago, but that's what comes to mind. And Ellis's third and final question is, worst thing you've done to a book? I feel like I'm pretty kind to books. Well, I say kind, but I don't like throw them across the room ever. I don't burn them. I don't rip them in half if they annoy me. I feel like the worst thing I do is like break spines on paperbacks. Or maybe when I do this, so this is an example. Sometimes I read like this and I feel like a lot of people would hate that, but I personally don't think it's that bad. But yeah, that's probably the worst thing I've done to a book. Oh, actually, going back to Lion Boy, so if you can tell, yeah, the pages are all like messed up. Basically, I left this book on top of an air vent in a caravan, and all the moisture got into it and bent all the pages like that. So I guess that would be the worst thing. Next set of questions come from Katie from Katie's Book Nook, and her first one is, how did you get into K-pop? So I got into K-pop in 2015, and at the time I was... So at the time I had a Fifth Harmony stan account on Twitter, which, well, is still there, but like I don't use it. And they were kind of breaking up and being annoying and doing me head in, and I didn't really like them anymore. And that's when my friend Dree introduced me to K-pop, because she just got into it, and it was just after BTS released Dope, and I watched that music video for the first time and was kind of blown away by it. And then it spiraled into loving BTS, and then I discovered like other K-pop groups, and yeah, it's history from there. And now I'm just straight up K-pop trash and basically don't listen to any other music. Next question from Katie is, what inspired you to make your channel? So I went to BookCon in 2018 on my own before I made my channel, and I'm pretty sure I've seen Katie talk about this, and this is the same reason that she made her channel. If that's not right, then completely ignore this, Katie, but I went to BookCon on my own last year, and while I was there I was just so inspired to make my own channel, and as soon as I got home I did. And yeah, it was an amazing decision, and I don't regret it. And Katie's final question is, what is your secret to being so cute? I don't know, Katie, maybe you should tell me, because I'm trying to get on your level of cuteness, so you're gonna have to let me know. Next question comes from Margaret from The Word Nerd, and her question is, if you could live the life of one Harry Potter character for a day, who would it be? And this is super easy. Luna Lovegood. I would love to be able to get inside her head for a day. Well, if you're familiar with Luna Lovegood, then you'll know she's like, she lives in her own little world, and I want to be able to glimpse part of it, so definitely Luna. Next question comes from Keris from Browsing with Books, and her question is, what's your favourite childhood snack? And the first thing that came to mind immediately, they're like animal crackers. Well, not animal crackers, but I think they were just called animals, and they were like Cadbury's, and they were like biscuits covered in chocolate in the shape of like animal faces, and they came in little like purple packets, obviously because they're Cadbury's. But yeah, if you know what I'm on about, then those were the shit. And I'm pretty sure they still make them now, but I haven't had them since I was a kid, and I miss them a lot, so maybe I should go out and buy some at some point soon. Next question comes from Trinity from OFL Book Nerd. First question is, what is a new favourite book of yours? And I'm going to say The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I read this in April, and really liked it at the time. I read Circe, also by Madeline Miller, straight after it, and really liked that as well. But months later, well, 2 or 3 months later, I keep thinking about this book, and I can't say the same for Circe, and I feel like when you keep thinking about a book, it is one of your favourites. So I'm going to say Song of Achilles. And Trinity's second question is, what other things are you interested in besides reading? So I go to dance classes once a week. I really like dancing. I go to acting classes once a week also, which is a sort of newly discovered passion. Not passion, but something I like that I didn't know I liked until recently, like the last 2 or 3 years. So dancing, acting. I like writing. I haven't written anything really in years and years, but I do consider myself a writer and I like writing, so there's that. What else do I like? I like ice skating. I like trampolining. I'm not good at these, by the way, I just enjoy them. Yeah, I think that's it for now. So ice skating, trampolining, writing, dancing, acting. The next set of questions come from Kevin from Storyglyph. First one is, what book would you like to see made into a movie? Kevin's second question is, what's a role that you would like to play as? I'm not sure. Like, I've not been into acting that long, so I've not really thought about it. So maybe I'm gonna go like really deep and say I would like to play a role that is me at my 100%. What I mean by that is I'd like to play a role that is my true self, because I feel like I am yet to discover who my true self is, and wow, yeah, deep. I would like to play a role that reflects who I truly am in my deepest soul. Next question is, who is your favourite Marvel hero? And the answer to that used to be Storm. However, in the last like year and a half, I've gotten into like the MCU with, you know, I've watched all the 22, 23 MCU films from like Captain America to Avengers Endgame, and I've got to say, Captain America, yeah, he's probably my favourite now. And Kevin's last question is, do you mind having 8 romantic partners at once? Well, I've never tried having 8 romantic partners at once. I've never even tried having 1 romantic partner. So, like, I don't know. I consider myself an open-minded person, so, like, never say never. But I feel like I need to try having just 1 romantic partner first before I get to 8. Next question comes from Destiny from That K-Pop Lover number 4, and that is, who is your favourite Avenger? And I've kind of just answered that one, so it's Captain America. Although I really like Spider-Man as well, but Captain America is like top tier. Next question comes from Flavie Martin, and that is, if you could change one thing in your favourite book / series, what would it be and why? So my favourite series to this day remains Harry Potter, and I mean, there are a few things that I would change. First of all, J.K. Rowling and her whole mess that she's created in the last few years, I would change that. But just in the books, I would make Dumbledore, like, explicitly gay. I wouldn't, like, hint at it. I would make sure he was portrayed as gay. And I'd probably make Harry ace. Other than that, not sure. Maybe, like, I wouldn't portray Snape as like this hero at the end of the series, because Snape is a dickhead and was always a dickhead and remained a dickhead till the end of the series, and nothing he did redeemed that, in my opinion. So I would make it clear that Snape is still a dickhead. Next question comes from Proud Book Lion, and that is, do you have any tattoos? If not, would you want one? I do not have any tattoos, and I don't want one, to be honest. But I have been thinking, like, if I were to have one, I came up with one that I really love, but not enough to actually get it. So my idea is to have an open book on this wrist, and flowing from the open book up my arm all the way to my chest and over, like, spiraling over my heart, I would have like symbols and maybe little quotes from my favourite books, or like books that have impacted me. So from the open book to me heart, book quotes and symbols and things like that. I feel like that'd be cute, but again, I'm not going to get one, so. Next question comes from Noria the Reader, and their question is, if you could recommend one book for each of the BTS members based on their personality, what would fit each member best? So I know Namjoon is actually into reading books, and I'm pretty sure he likes to read non-fiction, so the only non-fiction book that I've read and enjoyed is Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race by Rennie Edo-Lodge, and so that would be my recommendation for Namjoon. For Jin, I would definitely go for To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. This is like a cute contemporary that I think Jin would really love. Of course it features like bacon and stuff like that, and I think Jin would be really into it. For Yoongi, I've gone with Nod by Adrian Barnes. I actually really don't like this book. However, it's about a world where people can't sleep anymore, and Yoongi likes to sleep a lot. So, I mean, that's not all he is, but he does like his sleep. And so I feel like he would find it interesting to know what would happen if you were to not be able to sleep anymore. For Hobie, I would recommend On the Come Up by Angie Thomas. I haven't actually read this one, but I have read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and I've heard amazing things about this. The reason that I would recommend it to Hobie, despite the fact that I haven't read it, is the fact that I know it's about a rapper called Brie, and of course Hobie is a rapper, so yeah. For Jimin, who is my bias, if you didn't know, I would recommend The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I think this is a, well, I was going to say cute contemporary. It's not like all cute, but it's mostly a cute contemporary that I think he would really enjoy. For Tae, I would 100% recommend this book, which is Baby Animals, and it's actually just a picture book, which is very thick, of cute baby animals, and I think, oh, there is some words in it. Oh, there's just like descriptions of the pictures, but yeah, I think Tae would really love this. And I would just love to get his reaction to it on film. I think he'd like completely freak out about it. And then for Cookie, I would recommend Saga Volume 1 because it's a short graphic novel, and I think he would really enjoy it because he's into like action and stuff like that. So next question comes from Yara Abo, and her questions are, well, first one, what's your favourite Avatar The Last What is your favourite Avatar The Last Airbender episode / character? My favourite episode is called The Avatar and the Fire Lord, and it's in season 3. If you've watched Avatar The Last Airbender and you've watched that episode, then I shouldn't need to tell you why, and for those who haven't watched it, well, that's your loss, because you need to watch it, and I can't really tell you why without spoiling things. Just know that I adore that episode, and every time I watch it, it gives me goosebumps, and I love it. And as for favourite character, Katara. Yara's second question is, what's your favourite character arc that you've ever read? Again, this was a bit of a hard one for me, but I went with Patroclus from The Song of Achilles. The reason being, who Patroclus is at the beginning of this book compared to who he is at the end is just like, I just felt and feel so like proud of him, and I know that's like silly. Well, it's not silly, but like he's a fictional character. I shouldn't feel like immense levels of pride, but I really do. Like, I just feel so proud of him becoming the man he is at the end of this book compared to the boy he is at the beginning. If you haven't read this book, please do, because it's just so good. And the very last question comes from Kata Salinas. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. If you could live in any fictional world, where would it be and why? And I'm going to be basic and say the Wizarding World from Harry Potter. Reason being, I just adore that series with all my heart. It feels like home to me, and also it's basically like the world we live in now, but with magic, so obviously I would want to live there. And I would also want to attend Hogwarts, but sadly I am way too old to do that now. But yeah, definitely the Wizarding World. So those are all the questions I got for my Q&A. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted them. I had an amazing time answering them and hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you think you like more of my videos, then make sure to subscribe. All of my social media links will be down in the description. Again, thank you so much for watching. Hope you're having an amazing day. Goodbye.